What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Duality Podcast, where our motto is living comfortably and comfortable. My name is Ian Perez, joined by Jonathan Mercado, Victor Rivera, and Chris Zora. We're four ordinary dudes with extraordinary dreams. Jonathan, what's up, dude?
I just can't stop smiling. I'm told you, I'm that kid that cannot just stop playing around. Guys, if you're listening to this right now, we just had a funny moment and we're going to carry on, but Mr. Director was like, no, start over. And so here we are. And I'm still that kid that wants to carry on. I'm that bad child. But we are going to carry on, guys. So here we go. What's up, everyone? Thank you again for tuning in to another episode where we go from the inside out. We turn our dreams into reality and we stop all the wishing and we start taking action. Guys, today, the topics we love to discuss are leadership, entrepreneurship, self-development, financial literacy, and just getting 1% better every single day. Now, today is no different, guys. 2022 is around the corner. Like literally, it's next week, right? Damn, it is next week around the corner. So this podcast is going to be a must because we're going to be discussing how to execute in 2022 differently than you did in 2021. And we're going to be discussing our experiences from this past year and how can we improve, adapt, and move forward. But before we begin, we got a new segment, guys. It is called the wins and the losses for right now. And we're going to be discussing each of us a win from this past week and a loss from this past week. But I do want to touch on if we have a loss and we haven't really had that perspective, what can we do better? Guys, this is where iron sharpens iron. We can help each other out. And I'll just go ahead and switch it to Mr. Victor right here. Victor, give me a win and give me a loss, brother.
Yo. Hey, dude, I've been having a great productive week. So it's been great from that side. From a business standpoint, like my business, my franchise, Camp Gladiator, I came like super like refocused, re-energized from, that conference that we had. So I started working like then. And
like
then,
a madman.
Everything was everyone's going like I envisioned it to go in. So I got a lot of campers engaged, coming back, joining this challenge that we got going, this fitness challenge that we're going to start here in the new year. So I got a lot of my campers that come to me all the time, like consistently. All of them I've signed up, which is almost all of them I signed up, which is pretty awesome. And then the group that I created for the whole area. We're a little team here. It's they've been engaged too on my posts and things like that. So that's a big win for me because I wanted to go into the new year with a momentum, with like a little swing, right? That's gonna just bust it open for the new year. I wanted that aura, I wanted that energy, so I'm feeling it. I said another different goal for me for my own personal momentum. I got things, working out every day.
This was just winning.
Yeah. So, and shoot, I'm doing a lot of stuff right now. It's, it's all about that focus, that inner focus and just excitement of the new year. So big win for me as far as that. I'm being very productive. Like I'm not just letting things just pass me by or just waiting for the new year to come. I'm doing things now, which is great for me.
Hey, real quick, if anybody, if you don't have a Victor in your group of circle right now going into 2022, go find a Victor. That energy rubbed off on me because Victor, I was planning to like ramp it up a little bit later, a couple of days later, but Victor was like ramping it up in the midst of like we're in a conference, and I was like, yo, this dude's on fire. Jonathan, you better step it up. And so Vic, I appreciate that, man. People in your circle, guys, it's super huge. So Vic, shout out to you. I needed that. And man, I feel like I'm right there with you, brother. I love it. So I appreciate you for that. But do you have a loss? I'm kind of curious because you're like,
the loss is on a personal level
right now.
My kids. So my 2-year-old is in that mode. I don't know, all of a sudden, like it's super like active, rowdy, bugging on her sister, and or vice versa. The sister would be kind of bugging him or something like that. So it's last week has been rough. Like it's been rough. Me and Liz been drinking wine almost every night. Just like take it easy, USA. So my loss a couple of times. I kind of like lost it. If you know me, I'm very mellow and stuff like that. It takes a lot to like really push me overboard.
I'm good at that though.
I had like a moment where like I yelled at the kids. I'm being vulnerable. Like I yelled at them like really loud. And then that's not like me. I don't like to do that. But so that was my loss. I felt super horrible because like they were crying, and then I was super frustrated. So that was my loss, but I learned from that. Since then I said, okay, I got to rethink things. Right. And then Liz is a big help. Big shout out to my wife, Elizabeth. She is so great as far as helping us be better as far as like with our kids, right? Knowing their behavior, why they act a certain way, why things like that. And she's read a lot of books. We have a lot of children's books as far as like child behavior books that teach you things like that. So she's a lot more expert than I am when it comes to that. But she's taught me a lot of things. And so with her, like that mindset was like, okay, I gotta rethink this, approach different ways to not get to that point. Because it's not gonna, not per se that it's bad. It's just a season where like, okay, kids go through this. Some kids are, are more active than others. It's just a stage, right? No one, so it's just learning, when and what to do when like they're super hyper or they're, throwing like a tantrum or whatever it is. So that's my loss. I feel super bad. I feel like as a father, I'm like, crap, I messed up.
Right. Hey, yelling is a lot better than throwing a football at your kid's head. I keep the football around me. Okay, he starts acting up. I'm like, "Pah, catch it."
And so
that way,
like
Disney thing. I'm like, we're playing football.
So we talk about like, like I said, a lot. I grew up with that football in the head type of thing. Growing up, a lot of us maybe had like, discipline you with that belt, with that whip. I'm just kidding, not whip.
My dad,
the chancla.
My dad never caught me, fool. Always out the door. In
well, you were afraid of your life. That's kind of the generational thing we want to change. So, but again, I had a moment where I'm like, God damn it. And, so that was my loss.
Got you, brother. Chris, what we got, brother?
As far as my wins go, I would say that I was also pretty productive. Assembled some more things for the baby. Almost done with the room. I just need to actually do the wall paneling that I want to do with the wall. And then I've been holding off on the crib because I want to get that done first. But those are like pretty much the two only things that I really need to do with the room. Also, looks like I'm gonna go to the finals in the fantasy football for the third time in 4 years.
Shoot. I didn't know you were in fantasy football.
Yeah, so I mean that's definitely a win as well.
Is like online or with a group of people that you know?
It's mostly people I know or people that they know.
So not that's all right.
Yeah, my loss honestly just totally slipped my mind. Like I got busy doing solving other problems with business stuff and just things like that. But my loss was my wife had asked me to do some cleaning these last 2 days, and it totally slipped my mind.
So
she's about to pop, so she definitely didn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that was my loss.
Been there, brother.
That's a bad loss, though. Like sleep with one eye open.
I would just tell Desi to spank me. Take the L.
Just get over.
I'll just take the L, babe. Just spank me. Hey, what you got, brother? Give me a win. Give me a loss.
A win for the week. My dad had my son, and my oldest daughter was with her biological father's side. So Steph and I were down to one baby. So
Man, so awesome.
Valerie went down to bed, and we just hung out. We drank in the living room, chilled, and it was fun. I mean, it's been a minute since the house was that quiet, and it's kind of weird. Like you feel like obviously there's like too much space. So like internally, I was like, this doesn't feel right, but it felt good for it just to feel like almost us two again. Yeah.
I feel you there, brother. Give me a loss, man.
A loss.
You lost to Jonathan in that basketball game?
Yeah, but I mean, he acts like I try, so.
You let him win is another word.
Make a wish. Yeah, I'm part of that.
I was gonna put the clip where I cross him over and he touched the ground, but I was gonna save that.
The clips if you notice the clips, it's just highlighting him.
No, like, I texted Ian. I was like, Ian, I'm looking at, I want to be sure I make both of our shots. Get both of our shots. I was like, Ian, bro, I only got like you scoring one time, bro. I was like, did you just score once? but there was some previous footage that
That's messed up.
it didn't cover the 3-point line. And I think he hit 2 threes on me, but it didn't cover. And I was like, bro, I'm sorry. It just
You messed up,
literally
bro.
all I have
It's
is
a little
one
bit of
clip you.
bias. The
But it was a
cameraman
good
was
clip.
biased.
You see that clip? He
I
did
had
me in.
I saw he made a shot, but you got a clip of you making like 2 or 3 shots.
Well, I won 3 games. And he literally just didn't. He scored maybe like 2 threes, and just that one good move he did on me. Like he had me jump, like got me out of the way. He pulled a U with a good feet work where you fake and you duck in under.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a good
Yeah.
move. That was a good move. I like that.
I was all like, bro.
I was like, that I recognize game right there. I was like, oh, that's good.
Good footwork there. Footwork and feet work.
Footwork. Yeah. Loss for the week. It was multiple weeks. I feel like I was really on edge. And normally when I'm on edge, I get super defensive about the random shit that I can kind of, typically have a conversation logically. And it wasn't really with any specific person. I mean, it was with you guys. It was here at home. It was with myself. But this was kind of a win and a loss, in my opinion. I don't like that I got to that point. So that tells me I'm doing something wrong in regards to like it just burnout overall. But it did get to the point to where the emotion came. I'm doing what I've learned. And instead of letting emotion take over, I allow myself to feel it. I accepted it. I even typed something out of the emotion, and then I just deleted it. And then responded with a cool head, a professional head, I guess you could say. So win and loss.
Yeah. That was definitely good. When we came into the situations and you felt some type of way, and I saw your text and you told me how you operated, I had mad respect for all of it. I was like, whoa, handled like very well. Because normally that first text, that first email, or that first whatever, it's probably not the best one to send when you're in a situation where you have conflict. And bravo to you, brother, for not letting your emotions just send that first one or that second one. Just right, talk that shit over, think about it. I'm in that situation all the time. I lead a team of trainers, and they all have different mindsets, and sometimes I get flustered like fast.
Bro, I give you major props, bro.
Stop.
I would have gone off on one of them by now.
And I literally have to stop. But I type something, but I was like, dog, don't. I go to my notes. I start typing in my notes. So that way there's no send button. And then, of course, I talk to my wife because, one thing I struggle with is empathy and kindness, and like that right there, like really being sympathetic, big Achilles heel for me. But that's why I have great people around me who help solve these problems together. But yeah, man, shout out to you. Just real quick, a win for me, guys. Same thing as Victor, just super highly motivated. And what makes it even better is leaning in when nobody else is leaning in. Like, I love separating myself. I love when I know, like, I'm like, man, I'm grinding and everyone's just chilling until the new year comes. It just motivates me. I'm just competitive, not just with anybody in particular, but just with life. Like, I'm just super competitive at everything. And, having great people like Victor, who is just full throttle, just made me get full throttle. So shout out to you again. So yeah, I feel amazed. That's just a big win to have this burst of energy. And the loss would be, I think my niche going into my very first thing that I was able to master was fitness and nutrition. That was kind of my way to kind of work towards these other businesses. Everything I learned from fitness and nutrition and developing that and like sharpening that bad boy, I would use those skills to other businesses, but that's my first love, right? That's me. And so I've been hitting the workouts, doing all that kind of good stuff, but I like lagged off with nutrition. Like, I was kind of intuitively eating. I wasn't tracking. And I was getting flustered because I was just getting flustered, and I wasn't hitting my nutrition like I wanted to. And what really hit the switch was my son, Jeremiah. I don't know. He's getting the wave of energy. I don't know where he got this wave of energy, but he's acting like Victor. Super motivated, super disciplined, super on the grind. And he kind of checked me. And I was like, ooh, we went to go eat pizza and at Slapbox, bro. Like, who's going to turn down freaking Slapbox? And I got pizza for everyone. We're about to slam. And I'm over here drinking a IPA and a pizza. And he's like, he said something. He's like, yo, aren't you supposed to be on your grind too? Like he's right now, he's big headed. He talks a lot of crap right now because he's immature. He's growing. He's me right now. Like he's a growing me. And he didn't eat the pizza. And the next day we got Hat Creek. He didn't eat the burger. Like this fool has chicken breast in the refrigerator, drinking protein shakes, making his own food, like measuring, counting macros. And I'm like, no, the hell you aren't doing what I'm supposed to be doing. God damn it. And so shout out to my goddamn son for being on it. That was a big like throat check that my son's operating at a higher level than me. No, it's not happening. But so that was a loss and a win. Losses should be turning into wins, right? You should learn and whatever.
Hey man, shout out to Slice. That's Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Jeremiah
Otis.
Otis.
No,
Slice,
he
aka
looks
Slice.
I can tell he's making big leaps and bounds just because like physically, and he like I see his like aura's a little different. So he's stretching, getting leaner. So big shout out. I don't know what our sons are doing, our oldest are doing, but my son's on the grind too. Like that dude's been on his grind, like working out here in the I got him a new bench press and everything. That dude's cut right now. Like he's cut. Like,
well, guess it's not a surprise. What kind of culture are we building? What kind of standards are we, showcasing of how this is how it should be, right? So we're just leaking off into others, whether you have a high level performance or low level performance, that shit leaks. And so you gotta be super mindful because everyone's watching, not just your kids, everyone. But I do want to jump into this podcast, guys. I appreciate the wins and losses. Those are super important. And let's move on, guys. 2022 is going to be the year. Every year is going to be the year. We're always improving. Nothing's gonna be perfect. Your plans, bro, looking at your plans from last year, I want to know with you guys, did you hit a lot of marks or did life punch you in the face? Like, how did it all boil down? How did it go? Did the Dude Alley crew do exactly what we said we're going to do? Did we master everything and hit all our goals?
No. No, that's expected. That's expected, right? We just talked about it, right? Instead of having these lofty expectations, we got to have that expectancy, right? We got to have that, hey, the plan is gonna fail. So just expect that. So, but I would say though, I was like super focused, right? I was like very like optimistic. I'm a very optimistic person, but I was very optimistic. I felt like everything was going to go right. I was going to do the work. I had this, I've, done this, a little bit of self-development, I've been a year and a half into entrepreneurship. I was like, all right, I took some, nuggets from like other people that were doing higher, better than me. Right. So I took their system, kind of plugged it into mine. Right. And man, like first 3 months, I was on a roll. And then, man, things went sideways, up, down, and it went every which way. So I would say I didn't go very as planned. Like,
can you be vulnerable real quick? Can I let everyone know the situation? I want you to be vulnerable because this is the real life of entrepreneurship. Victor took a full leap of faith into the ocean of entrepreneurship. Okay.
Yeah. So
full leap.
So I jumped in entrepreneurship.
Definitely got to swim back.
Yeah, and I'll say this, I'll tell you that I lost as far as like net income, $20,000. Like $20,000.
Be real, baby.
Cut, right? So think about it, right? If someone asked you to take a $20,000 K cut, like would you do it? All right. It's like it changes a lot of things for you. But man, I wanted to, my mission and being there with my family. I know we're about to have another son. So for me, it was like I have to be home. When I have to be more home. I be more present. That was one of the things that were in the goals and things that they were important to me. So I wanted to be home, and that was like the biggest win for me was that I was more present. I was there for doctor appointments. I was there to pick up my son every single day from school, have those conversations in the car. So I was in there. So that was the thing that I think the most, but everything else as far as business wise, like starting like my real estate investment, company and getting that started, like all that stuff had good momentum, but then kind of, again, like I said, just like took like, other directions. So
What did it do?
huh?
I said, what did it do?
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to make it clear that when you jump into entrepreneurship, I think all of us on here, even if you're listening to the podcast, you have some sort of aspirations to maybe do your own thing, right? Live life on your own terms. And so when Victor took the jump, he went out there, he took the risk to go out there. Like, you have to be able to put yourself in that uncomfortableness of being out there in that ocean. And it didn't pan out like he wanted it to. Like, he wanted to go full-time entrepreneurship, and he did, but it did not pan out. But he has super faith, because when it didn't pan out, he didn't just quit. He found some alternative income to take care of his family, because you got to take care of your family no matter what. You got to take care of your family. But he's still in the entrepreneurship realm. Most people would have been like, yo, I jumped, I tried, and it's not for me. Let me go back into the 8 to 5. Let me go back into security of, I know I'm going to get paid, whether I do great or not.
Let me be clear. Like, I wanted to quit so many times and go back. I had conversations with Liz. I'm like, babe, like, I don't know how we're gonna make
every
it. Like,
entrepreneur
in a
wanted
moment
to quit.
of like just full transparency with my wife, and she's my best friend. She's the one I can fight it and tell all these things to. And be like, I don't know if we're gonna make it. You know, I was like, I think I need to go do something like to you know, because it's easy. It's when you lose your comfort, right? When you have that stream of income, that's when you're used to something, right? And then
you know it's gonna be there or not. Like,
yeah,
it's gotta show up.
So it was rough. And then, you know, but you know, like I said, my wife supports me big time of what, you know, why I also do things I do. You know, there's always someone behind us or next to us, like not even behind us, right next to us, and sometimes in the forefront, you know, pulling us, which is our wives. But yeah, man, I would say I'm not all like, you know, I would say I didn't have doubts throughout the year. And so, but definitely rough times. But like I said, amidst of that, I also learned so much.
Got you, brother. Yeah. Hey, there you go, little taste. What's up? We got hey, I want to know how did your year go? Before we like dive in, like, how did the year go? Did it, like, you rock it? Chris, you rock it? Expectations? You get punched in the face?
I mean, some things excelled in, and other things not so much. The fitness part of it was kind of hit or miss. Like, I would go in like waves where I'd be really good, and then it'd kind of slow down and get really good and slow down, which, I mean, I feel like that happens with a lot of people. But towards the end of the year, I did get better, except for the last month or so. I kind of regressed a little bit again, but starting the last 2 weeks, I've gone back on the grind. Yeah. As far as the book reading, that's been the one thing I've done the best at.
Executed.
Yeah, I'm finishing up my last book this month. Can
I stop you there real quick? How did that change your life? Has from you, like, this is the most amount that you ever read per year? Has that made a big difference in your life? Yes. And like, how has that made an impact in your life this year?
I think just the fact, like, seeking out that growth has made it better. And making sure that I'm actually accomplishing that. It's like, I'm pushing myself to get it done, not because I have to do it for the podcast or anything, but because I want to keep promises to myself. And if I can do something as simple as read a book, then I know I can push myself to do other things that are a little bit more challenging.
Yeah. About real estate, brother. I mean, properties.
Real estate. Obviously, that's we have zero.
I can't even count them on my fingers.
Yeah.
I can't even count on my fingers because it's zero.
Our goal was to have at least 2 properties completed by the end of the year. That obviously hasn't transpired. We've had a lot of ups, a lot more downs than ups, but we've had some ups but a lot more downs. Yeah, that's been a big struggle, but it's a learning experience. And I know just going through all this right now, it's just going to make it that much better than for when we do encounter it later again. Like we know what to do and how to handle things.
Mental
Yeah,
toughness, baby.
I just want to give you guys props for that. Like some like that is that to like to you guys is like, damn, it's almost like a not a failure, but like a letdown, right? Like but to me, you guys been grinded. To me, you guys are kind of in the forefront and kind of like the big bros in that. And I give you props for just everything you guys are doing to get there.
We're gonna pave the way, brother, for everyone. We're gonna pave the way for everyone. And once we get the process down, we're all gonna eat. Like we're all gonna eat.
Yeah.
Freaking monster. Ian, what's up, brother?
Let me unmute real fast. This year has been wild. A lot of growth, but a lot of stuff in my personal life, man, that just kind of throw you for a loop. Deaths in the family, health scares. Yeah, I mean, kind of everything from a personal perspective can definitely throw you off track.
I heard a podcast about that, bro.
Yeah.
That people like, this health scares, the sickness, all about that, how people like linger onto that when in reality, like that shit happens to everyone. Like, bro, people get old, people die, like that shit happens to everyone through life, right? And so it happens for you for a reason, because you came out, bro, you saw a different perspective, you got stronger, and like you're better from it, Ian. So I just wanted to be props to you that you didn't give up. You're still here with us all the way to the end, brother. And we're here for you no matter what, whether for all you guys, not just Ian, all you guys, especially Victor.
But yeah.
I'll just look at you.
As far as like wins for the year, I think from a quote unquote business perspective, I accomplished all my goals and actually exceeded them. I needed to get my credit score up. I got it up like 250 points. I needed to complete a real estate class that's finished. I actually invested in vision board investments, which was not even on my goal board. And, I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it like Chris said, there's certain things and other aspects of your life that, you have some wins, some losses, but, I wasn't able to find the consistency that I want to find. So, one out of, I guess, 3 total big goals and like things I want to focus on in my life is not good enough for me. So this year, although there were some wins, I expect 2022 to be night and day compared to this year.
Yeah. Oh, gave me the vibes. I like it. Should have said it with night and day, like Batman.
Like Batman.
I was going for a Jocko, but
guys,
sounds cool.
For me, just like everyone, you have some wins and some losses. I have a lot of goals written down, and I think I hit just one. I got promoted into the franchise business as in leadership. And funny thing about it, though, is, I got promoted, but then somehow life happens, right? Life happens. And somehow my wife has to go back to work. It is either she goes back to work or I have to downgrade everything all over again. But we just talk about Victor with the entrepreneurship. Like, no matter what happens, I'm going to keep swimming and keep swimming and keep spinning, because I have strong faith. But right now I'm just in the season where I was like, baby girl, we're gonna have to figure some things out, which, like, as I don't see any gender roles, but I was like a man and like a little bit of a provider. That took a hard toll on me mentally. Like, once again, back against the wall, like tears, like Matrix mode, like what can I do? And the only thing I could absolutely think of was, and the last thing I want my wife to be doing, because she's in super mommy mode and really holding that down for the littles and taking care of her. I try to run these businesses. To ask her to go back to work was like a big kick in the nuts. And so didn't get no real estate property. I was like I was really trying to bank on the real estate property, get another one, get some cash flow. Like that was get some cash flow, get things going, expedite the process.
Yep.
Like, let's go. And here I am. still with the same energy though, and still more excited, and bigger challenges coming ahead of me. But just like anything, I'm totally ready for all the challenges, because I know it's just going to make me stronger and stronger and stronger. Because what we're trying to achieve, I forgot who I was talking to on here. What we're trying to achieve is crazy. We're trying to achieve this 1% and be able to get to that point. Do you know how ridiculously stupid hard it's going to be? God's not going to make it easy. He's going to throw everything at you to see how strong your faith is that you have to be able to get to that point. And so, here I am still standing strong, guys, and I'm ready. I'm ready to adapt and make new plans. But I do want to go over like a little specifically. Do any of you guys just one nugget about each here? What are you going to do differently? Because a lot of us didn't hit a whole lot of check marks, guys. And some of us went sideways, and some of us went backwards, and some of us did backflips and circles. So like, what's that one strategy that you think, not like for yourself, but this is going to help a lot of people? Because a lot of people don't hit shit either. So this is for everyone. What's one strategy that you're going to improve on to hit some some goals?
Yeah, no. So I'll go ahead and just say I'm just gonna make it simpler. Like, so I know I had a lot of, like last year, like I wrote a bunch of stuff, a lot of things wanted to hit. I was very detailed, very specific. I had a timeline, a deadline, but like we just kind of went over, nothing goes as planned, right? And so I was, having all these expectations and things. And there's a lot of times where I got frustrated. I think in the beginning of the year, I expressed my frustrations with our franchise partners, with Jonathan early in the year, like, I want to go, I want to do this. And then, we talked through that.
I remember that.
Yeah. And so like, I was upset. I was just frustrated. Like, but, I would say my strategy would be just keeping it simple. We talked about it a little bit. And Jonathan mentioned about, maybe we should just, do this. So what I'm just going to finish, I'm going to focus on one thing. Like, I'm going to focus on one thing, right? And really put my energy on that one thing, right? And so I think everything else, I think is I have already like automatic processes for, like my franchise, like family, that stuff. I think I already got like a role for. I don't need to exuberate too much energy into it, like to where like I need to grind it. To where meaning I don't have to like relearn. I got a process for it, and these, that and I have other people that support me to help me, do that, right? But for me, just one thing will be focus on one thing, and my energy on one thing, and really hit it 100% on that one thing.
What's that one thing for you? And how did you come up with that?
Yeah, so for me, is one of the things that I wanted to do that I didn't do was just start the process or start the steps to start my real estate investment venture, right? So you guys went through it, right? And my expectation was I was going to go with the same, right? So that's the one thing I'm really focusing on. It's going to take like, I'm going to put my full energy with it. And we talked about it in the group as far as having an accountability of it. So I need, for me, is focus on one thing, but I need pulse checks, something that keeps me accountable. So which I'm going to ask for you guys to give me that pulse check, to where I have to report something to y'all to say, hey, this is where I'm at in the step towards my risk and investment venture company, right? Say, hey, have you finished real estate, right? Have you but we really get things done. To me, that's going to help me stay the course and really, taking me to that. And throughout that, I'm sure I'm going to be learning other things and things of that nature. But to me, it's focusing on one thing and having that pulse check throughout the year, quarterly, monthly, things like that. That's going to help me kind of get that.
Keep it on the forefront.
Yeah, because it's so easy to just put it on the back burner, right? And say, I'll get to it. And then
life's going to happen.
Yeah.
Life's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's going to happen for all of us.
Yeah. To me, instead of focusing on a whole lot of things.
Chill.
Exactly. Right? I'm getting too excited over here. Just focus on one thing and just keep track of that.
Got it, right. Chris, Ian?
Go ahead, Chris.
One nugget that you're going to improve on.
Well, so for me, I actually kind of had two, like one personal and one like business / podcast thing that I wanted to work on. The personal obviously I have a big change coming to my life, so it's just to embrace the new journey for what they call fatherhood and the challenges that come along with it. I just want to strive to be the best I can be at being a father. Not exactly sure exactly how I'm going to navigate that yet, but I mean, I have good examples around me, and if those don't
You
work,
just have two. You just have two
well, if
good
those don't work,
examples.
then I have you guys to look up to. But
And just to be clear, I mean me and Ian.
Dang. I don't even think he was saying us. I think it wasn't even in this
I'm just
group.
messing with you guys.
Oh, right. He wasn't even talking about this group.
I was actually talking about like my other friends and my dad.
Like real friends.
I'm just messing with you guys.
I
but
know,
then,
right?
as far as like the business / podcast side of things, the biggest thing I want to focus on this year is just like optimization and enhancement of those two things.
Can you
like,
say that again?
Yeah, it sounded so like cool.
I've heard that in a podcast before. Maybe you listened to it.
I don't know. I don't think so. But it's just the optimization and the
Chris
enhancement
is
of
the
it.
smartest out of all those right now.
Dude, obviously.
And
Oh yeah,
wait
Ian's
a
really
minute.
really up there though too.
Yeah.
as far as like the business side goes, I really just want to like a big thing that happened to us is like when we did finally get a deal that we liked. I mean, obviously we're still dealing with it, so I want to set up contingencies to like on from the get go, to prevent deals from like dragging on and like handcuffing our funds for
Learning from your
for potential
mistakes.
other deals. And like I just want to like also if people are not holding like they're not doing their job, they're not holding their end of, like holding up their end of the deal, then we just need to move on from them. Like we've been too focused on trying to get this first deal that we've been working with people that probably
Aren't.
aren't yeah, they don't care about it doesn't seem like they care about our interests, and they're just taking their sweet time to get anything done. So yeah, and then just like having that documentation ready for the lenders,
Now we know.
for any future deals as well.
Like 20 different pieces of documents.
And then the most important thing out of all of that for the business side would be just to reflect and analyze what we have done this year and apply the changes to correct the mistakes that we've made. And then once we complete our first fix and flip, we're going to reanalyze it again. And because I know there's going to be more mistakes and things that we're going to have to do, and just like adjust from there as well. But yeah, podcast wise, just continue to work on my personal growth so I can continue to bring value to everyone. I still don't think I'm a great speaker, so I really want to invest my time.
You're doing a great job right now, bro. Take that right now,
Bro.
Yeah, like I just want to work on
right now.
how I speak and how like I portray, or not portray, but how I come off. Just I want to be more clear about my thoughts. And then I just I really want to also just work on the content that I create for the podcast as well, and make sure I have it done prior to when I want to post it, so it's ready to go on the day of, and I don't forget about it and take too long trying to get something up online.
Yeah,
bro. I'm so proud of you right now. That all that you said was like inspiring to me. Like I was like, God, I messed up. I should have done last or something.
That was a lot of big words. I'm about to listen to it again.
And hey,
Jonathan was like super blown away. Like, I don't know what he's saying, but it sounds really good.
He's saying, but he sounds good.
I think I've bit my tongue with him saying it.
But I want to, just pause on a couple of things that you said. I think a lot of people, they're just creating a whole new plan, but they're not reflecting on what they got hung up on. And so during our real estate journey right now that me and Chris are going through, we've gotten hung up on a lot of different things. And so what Chris has been able to do is what part that's slowing us down, and he's already developing a plan for that. The next part that we struggle on, Chris is already developing a plan for that. And so he's just adapting the plan, making it stronger. And so before you just come up with a whole new plan, use the plan that you had. It was good. It was just the first plan. The first plan is probably going to suck anyways. But hey, how can you make that same plan? Like, keep the plan, but how can we make it stronger? Like, where are you getting hung up on? Because probably some of it's working.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said it was basically like a rough draft. Your initial
it's a rough
plan,
draft. Just sharpen it, bro. Oh, that's good. The second thing I do want to highlight is you trying to improve your personality. And a lot of people just say that's just my personality. That's just how I am, right? They don't think that could really change. But we just freaking read a book that personality isn't permanent. And it was like game changer. You can literally be the person you want to be. It just takes some skill and some practice. You're not good at it because you don't ever practice it. Like tone, speaking, the fluctuation, the body language, energy. There's literally classes to get better at these things. Mm-hmm. So just to say that I'm not good at writing, well, duh, Jonathan, you don't ever write, fool. Like, no shit that you're not good at it. So that perspective, I'm super happy that you can be like so aware of that you can take that internal that people think is fixed, and it's not really fixed. It's just, you just have to put a lot of effort into learning to do better. So, hey, shout out there. Great 2 points. And what you got, brother? How can we improve on your side of the spectrum?
I'm gonna take, I guess, the messaging that Pastor Rob gave us this past week, man. I feel like being the light and letting my light shine instead of hiding it out of fear or out of, but yeah, basically just fear. I mean, I saw a quote and it said, God gave you the life you have because you're strong enough to live it. And that's just fact. You wouldn't have this life from him if you didn't think you could get through it. So I think that the biggest win for me is I think by looking at my why, which being my family, I can't expect things out of them without me doing the same damn thing. I can't expect them to have good fitness if my fitness isn't good. I can't expect them to have good nutrition if mine's, shit. So being the light, being the example, I think will help me stay more consistent, because consistency definitely is my downfall in a lot of aspects of my life, really.
I love that you said that. I'm gonna tell a story. I think I already told Ian. I got asked, like, why do I work so hard? Like, I do take pride in just like the work ethic, waking up early, doing absolutely my best every single day. I get that from motivational speakers. I get that from like literally listening to them and them being my friends without them even knowing. I put them in my ear every single day. But there was a story that I ran into. I don't know which motivational speaker said it, but in terms of operating at a high level every single day, and you can't expect others to do the exact same thing unless you're doing it, is there was this family and they had a child, and they couldn't get this child to stop eating candy. Right? They couldn't get to stop eating. They tried all the tactics, all the tricks, and just Johnny couldn't stop eating candy, and he wouldn't listen to their parents. So the parents like, hey, I got a good idea. Let's take Johnny to our doctor, right? And let's get the doctor, who's a professional, tell Johnny not to eat candy, right? You would figure to listen to the doctor. Well, they go to the doctor, they take Johnny to the doctor, and they have high hopes. Like, the doctor's going to tell this fool, don't be eating candy. Why? Because you're probably going to have all the other bad, outcomes out of it. And so they asked the doctor, hey, can you go ahead and tell Johnny not to eat candy? And he looked at them and he paused. He's like, give me 1 week. Come back in 1 week. And they're like baffled. Like, what? Come back in 1 week? And they're like, well, can't you just tell Johnny stop eating candy right now? Like, what are you doing, dude? And so he looked at them. He's like, I can't tell Johnny to stop eating candy unless I stop eating candy. Come back next week. Yeah, come back next week. That way I could tell Johnny to stop eating candy. And I was like, oh, bro. So operating at a high level, you hitting that and you realizing that. And I think as fathers and parents, we expect our children and people around us to like do these things. And then in reality, like, we're not even doing them. And so that's why I tried to, that's why everyone, not just me, that's why everyone, every single day, like Inky Johnson said, you owe you to give it your best. Like, you owe you, not nobody else. You owe you. You should have the respect for yourself to operate at a high level, not just because the results or something you might get out of, just because you owe you to do your freaking best every single day, no matter the outcome. And that inspires me so freaking much. And sometimes I get low and I got put in check by my own son. Like, that's not something I wanted to get put in check of, but it was a clear reminder, I got to step it up. Like, my son's like called me out on it, obviously. And that's something I pride myself on. So boom, like, let's step it up. So Ian, for you to say that, brother, is so much respect and so much perspective on your side of self-evaluation. I think going into the new year, guys, you have to be evaluating Victor's favorite word here. You got to evaluate yourself on these areas and be like really truthful before you can make an adjustment, because you might think you're a 10 at something. And in actuality, bro, you're like a 4 or a 3 or a 2. Like you probably suck at it. So self-evaluate. The things for me, I just want to, hit on as we're going to 2022. I think there's 3 marks that kind of consist of, are you going to be, as I've grown throughout the years and as I'm still growing throughout the years, I've learned step 1 to achieve your goals would be obviously write them down, right? It's weird to say that that's common, but it's actually not. Like people aren't writing down their goals. Like they may have goals, but it's not written down anywhere and they don't see them anywhere, and out of mind, out of sight, right? 2 is make a plan for each one of those goals. Now that's step 2. Now, I think majority of the people aren't making the plan. Once again, they'll have this, I want to lose 15 pounds. What do I think? Like what do I think I need to do? I'm probably just going to work out and eat better. That's not really a plan. That's not really getting specific. And that's not really having a day-to-day activities that you can be productive on to hit your goal. And so, but is a step 3, and Victor, and this is high level, and Victor's on it. He touched it and it put my ass in check. It was all like, yo. So step 3 would be accountability, right? Following up with those. But I believe this is where I think all of us right here need to get a whole lot better on, because we may have like follow-up, but it's like a weak follow-up. Hey, how you doing with this? Oh, I'm doing better. Oh, okay, cool. Like that's not accountability. And so what Victor is proposing, and I think is great, is an actual freaking meeting and asking us specifically and track. You got to track your shit. You got to know if you're getting better. Specifically seeing where are you at with this, Victor. Real estate, right? Cool. Victor is writing down all the steps about the real estate goal. Not he has the goal, but he has all the steps. What are all the steps I need to get started in this real estate? And he's going to write those bad boys down. And then we're going to get together and I'm like, hey, Victor, where are you at with this real estate? And he can be able to go to his little check mark. And he's like, I'm stuck here. Well, great. There's 4 heads and there's 2 dudes already in the real estate journey. Let's figure this out like right here. We're not leaving this table, Victor, unless we have a plan to bypass this stopping point. And I think that's where I messed up in my year, is I had all these goals and all these plans. I never looked at them. I never had follow-up. I just kind of had it in my head of like, I was going to hit these things. And then when I look at the end of the year, I didn't hit any of those things. I hit 1, but like, shoot, I was like, whoa, the follow-up. And the inner side of me wants that comfort of like, I want follow-up, I want accountability, but it's not the real accountability. It's the, hey, Victor, how you doing? That was accountability that I was like doing, because I know I really didn't want the Victor to be like, yo, Jonathan, you're bullshitting. Like, I need you to make a plan. Nobody wants to hear that. That's why we don't have that heated accountability. So, write the goals, make a plan with list everything that needs to be accomplished to hit that goal. And then you got to have strong accountability, but not with people who aren't on the same mission, and not with people who don't know or who hasn't already been there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're on the money. I think all of us are kind of on the money, on the right track. As far as what we got moving forward going into 2022, I think we have like the right mindset. Man, just thinking, just listening to you guys speak and everything, I don't know, right now everything just went through my mind, like all our journey like of this year, like of us, like we've grown so much. I think we've been around each other so much that we've got to get each other annoyed. We fought, not fought, but you know what I'm saying? Like we got into disagreements, like we were like actual brothers,
Yeah.
Which is, I'm really proud of us, to be honest with you, so proud of us. Before we had our last meeting, I had to look up an old email from our first meeting we had about making this podcast, and it was around this week last year. I found the email that was sent to all of us. I sent it to all of us. It was like a pre-meeting, like what our name was gonna be and like all this stuff, like really premature. I think it wasn't even that long. I think it was like 4 bullet points.
It was. When I saw it, I was all like, wow. In my head, I thought it was gonna be more. Like I wanted some deep information so I could pull it into our meeting.
Yeah.
And you sent it to me. I was like, this is it. This is all the information we had to start a podcast. I was like,
Yeah, but man, I just want to say that proud of you guys, and man,
And that actually reminded me. Sorry to cut you off. Last week I forgot I was going to mention it. It had popped up on my calendar last week when we recorded on Thursday. Was the actual day that we created our real estate company. So like I think it was the 14th or something like that. Like it said, oh, Vision Board Investments was created this day or something like that. And I totally forgot to mention it last week. So so it's kind of exciting to see that. It's kind of like, wow, I can't believe it's already been a year.
we have a business, real estate investment business with no real estate.
Yes. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
That's
Comma.
the comma, right?
This is the reality of entrepreneurship.
But you know what? We're still like, moving forward. Like I love that. I love that we've, like, even though we've in our minds we haven't gone in taking the step forward that we wanted to take, but we were moving forward. Like we were making strides in a different manner.
Yeah.
So so I just want to shout out to you guys.
Fuck yes. So if anything, guys, I had one nugget, and this would go for not even the three that I mentioned. That was just like a strategy you guys can use. Choose one goal, like Victor said. Damn it, because we had like 25, and that was outrageous. But one goal, one focus, lean in 100%. But the one goal I would have, honestly, something that I learned this past year is nothing works unless you do. Literally,
nothing works. Yep,
that's good.
Nothing works unless you do. And so if you're not taking care of your mental, your physical, and your spiritual, excuse my language, but you're kind of just fucked. You're just fucking yourself. Like you do not have the mental capacity to do what you really want to do because your tank is empty. And it sounds selfish to be like, well, I do these things, it's going to take away from this. But that's usually how it always works. It's always the opposite. When you lean into this stuff, you're able to give more. And I just wanted to swear, like we all been moving forward because some kind of accountability we've been taking care of some mental, we've been taking care of that physical, we've been taking care of that spiritual, whether meditation or religion. But those are your gas tanks. And if your gas tanks are low, you're really just running not optimal. You're like running on unleaded fuel, and you're in a high speed race with exotic cars that take that premium. I don't know what they take. Do anybody know specifically what they take? Anyways,
Sure, yeah.
you're going to lose. You're running on fumes, and it's not even high premium gas. You're running on unleaded from a sketchy gas station that probably has contaminants, and you're gonna have to get your tank, end up in the hospital or something. But anyways, if I can make the analogy, nothing works unless you take care of yourself. I promise you, I prioritize that to my wife. Baby, every day I ask her, how can I serve you? Like, meaning, how can I be sure you get your workout in? How can I be sure you work on your business? How can I be sure you're mental? Like, when do you need a break? And it's been a game changer. It really has. So take care of yourselves.
Absolutely, man. 100% agree.
And last thing I want to mention before we end this thing is just Merry Christmas, because it's going to come out the day after Christmas. So Merry Christmas to everyone.
You're so thoughtful, bro. I swear. You make me look so bad, fool. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, guys. I hope you listen to this podcast and get us up out of here, brother.
Okay. I wanted to do a long quote, but I think I'll just save it for IG. So if you don't follow us on IG, please go do it. It's just literally Duality_. We do have a Twitter. We do have a YouTube if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So if you can go over to the channel and drop a subscribe and like all of our videos, you will be our number one fan, and I will love you personally. But up until then, Merry Christmas, happy holidays. We love each and every one of y'all. Everyone that listens, even for 2 seconds, y'all make our day. I can guarantee it.
Shout out to all the wives.
all the wives that listen, that give feedback, you know, that tell you that you suck a little bit, but they do it nicely in a way that you don't get your feelings hurt. Enjoy your time with your family. I'm going to be vulnerable and get emotional. Those that you've lost this year in the past couple years, they're still with you. They'll never leave your side. If you really think about it, you wouldn't be here without them. For me, I wouldn't be here without, you know, my grandmother or God. It's not luck. It's his plan. So you're born to be great. So please go and do it. Until next time, peace and love.